know there's those of you who are in Asia and Australia and not able to join because it's the middle of the night for you. And one day I'll have it in the right time for you to join. But anyways, we miss you and thank you so much. And any questions you have about the replay, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. Things are changing. Right now, we are at the midway point of the Wood Dragon year, and we've just entered into the season of metal. So now that we have left the season of fire, and now totally different energies of metal and water. So it is the Yang Metal Monkey Month, and we just entered that. What was it? On August 7th at 8 something in the morning, which was the Dragon Hour. So, which one do you feel like? Are you terrified? Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you like holding on for dear life with what all the changes that are happening in our world today? And certainly our world is in upheaval and is in chaos. So that's why I thought it was a great metaphor, especially with the Wood Dragon year. It's certainly been a roller coaster year for not only just the world, but for most of us in our personal lives. And so if you've been feeling anxiety, fear, uncertainty, or, even more passion and, let's see. Oh, Yvonne. Okay, Yvonne. Okay. Oh, hi, Yvonne. Maybe she hasn't. Hi, Yvonne. Thank you for joining. I don't know if she can hear me yet. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Okay, so you are not alone, is what I'm saying. You are not alone. Okay? I was recently, was it last week? It was last Saturday, and I had the great good fortune of going to hear Bruce Lipton in New York City, in a church in New York City. I don't know if any of you know who Bruce Lipton is, but it's Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he's been studying genetics for a very long time. And he has now, and he was a brilliant speaker. And, oh, okay. All right, don't worry. Just drive carefully. I'm happy you're listening in. No worries. If you don't listen to all of it, don't worry. I'll send you the replay. Go on. And he was talking about how genetics do not define our genetics are not our biology. Anyways, I'll talk about this a little bit because it's interesting that he has now developed this term called epigenetics, and it's so funny because I haven't really heard much about this gentleman. And of course, he's quite famous now, and I've seen him on YouTube or Instagram. So they come up like 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, and but I hadn't had time to listen to him. So I went up. He's 80 years old. He spoke for 5 hours straight with a 20-minute break, and everybody was pounding him, for questions and talking to him during the break. So I went up to him at the end and I said, I'm sorry, but I never really heard of you, but you are brilliant. I said, you are brilliant. I said, because I taught food healing and Chinese dietary therapy for 35 years. And I would always say to my students, you do not have to fulfill your genetic destiny. Anyway, so kind of one of the themes I'm going to be talking about. And now, science is showing us that yes, our environment does affect us. It affects our thoughts. It affects our feelings. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm sorry. I know to repeat this again, but my name is Melanie Norman. I'm a Chinese metaphysics consultant, and I do classical feng shui consulting, Bazi Chinese astrology, date selection, and now combining traditional Chinese medicine with Bazi. So I'm a consultant, an educator, and an author. And I'm so excited because in a week I will have my first Bazi Mastery Program students graduating. Right, Michelle? You're going to graduate because I know you're all going to do well on the test. So I'm very, very proud of this accomplishment, and I am so proud of all of you, the students who showed up for the Bazi Mastery Program. It's a very deep study. It takes years and years, but they showed up and they spent the time. So, anyways, I'm just very, very proud of all of them, and I'm deeply grateful. I what I as I was teaching food healing and Chinese dietary therapy in the late 90s. This is when feng shui started to become popular, and so I became certified in 2 schools of classical feng shui. I then went on to study with many masters, and one of the reasons that led me into a deep study of Bazi, or I should say Bazi, not Bazi. Bazi is like the Western slang. It's Bazi, technically, is, where was I? First of all, I started seeing a profound relationship between Bazi and one's health, because I was giving food and healing consultations, food healing and using traditional Chinese dietary therapy, because I also helped start a school in New York City called the Academy of Healing Nutrition. So as I was starting to combine my understanding of Bazi and TCM, so I started to see this profound understanding. You could look at a person's chart and you could see issues, health issues. And then another thing that led me into a deeper study, because I had like I think 4 or 5 initial Bazi consultations, right? And they said more or less the same thing. Okay, you're a weekday master, you need resource and companion, basically, element. And then when I traveled to China, and one of our first masters we studied with there was, um, let's see, Grandmaster Raymond Lowe is what he is called now. And during the break, the first day, I went up and I was asking about my chart. And he writes like so quickly, they write in Chinese, and it's in their DNA. Speaking of DNA, this understanding, like it's in their heritage. It's like hundreds and hundreds of years. And so he goes, oh, no, 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 you're not this. No, 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 you're this. Anyways, my world fell apart because I thought I knew I was being told one thing, and then now he's telling me no. Anyway, so that took me on another long journey of studying with more Bazi teachers and feng shui masters, as well as from Joey Yab to Lily Chung to Marlena Laws, and now Joshua Bose. I'm actually a visiting teacher at the academy, TM Duran Academy from India. Anyways, so much to tell you. I mean, there's always so many aha moments that I've had with Chinese metaphysics, and every day it never ceases to amaze me how the energy shows up and how accurate it is. Okay, so this is my website, the Red Dragon Consulting Group, your source for living well through Chinese metaphysics. And I have many free apps on there, so you can go and put in, you can go in and put your Bazi chart, your birth information, and it'll be a very quick synopsis. It's not a complete synopsis like if you go onto Chinese Metasoft, etc. Or another thing that I have is you can look up the feng shui of your home, the directions. You can look up your qi and deity, and you can look up the tung shu of the day. You can't find many sites unless you have a tung shu calendar. Okay, an app that tells you all the details of the qi of the day. So that I do have for free, and please use it because it is a good resource. So I have Feng Shui consultations, Bazi consultations, TCM, and a subscription basis, and now courses. Okay, so this is where you'll find me. Of course, on my largest group is on the private Facebook group, Feng Shui Chinese Astrology, and then I'm on YouTube and Instagram and Telegram. Okay, so here we are in the metal season of the monkey, rooster, and the dog. So you will see in the next couple of slides what makes up the season of metal. Okay, so we've left this fiery energy and we've entered into what they call the autumn months or the metal season. Okay, this is very important to distinguish. It is the chi of metal. Okay, so even if you're in the southern hemisphere, so let's see, we're going into fall. They're going to be going into what we call the spring season. There, it is still the chi or the energy of metal wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere. And I know it must be difficult for southern hemisphere students to study this because this was born or this was developed, this understanding was developed in China thousands of years ago, and so it was developed in the northern hemisphere. So navigating the upcoming metal season of monkey, rooster, and dog. So monkey's August, rooster is September, and dog is November. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. And boy, it seems like that's why I put that roller coaster there because like the change is like whoa. And I remember another thing that not only do we have how our seasons influence us, it's also how it's the energy of period 9. So we have entered that officially and fully on February 4th, 2024 of this year. So the period 9, the period of fire. Fire is fast, fire is volatile, it is changeable. If you look at the stock market here in the United States this week, that they call it the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I think on Monday it was down 1,000 points. The NASDAQ, which is another marker, um, it was down more than 1,000 points for the first time ever. So people are panicking, and then the next day was up 400 points, or maybe it was the third day. Anyways, by the end of the week, it ended up. I mean, the volatility is quite strong, is my point. So it is certainly things are happening fast, they're happening quick, and it's volatile. So when we look at now I'm just gonna take you from the larger picture, and then we're gonna go into the details of the metal season. So you want to see the whole as integrated and all energy is connected. And the Tao, this is the Tao. So if we look at here, we could call it the universal law. This is the matrix. Speaking about the Matrix, the movie, I think that was more a documentary than a movie. But here is this matrix, and it starts from the one, from the Tao. They call it the Tao, where there is no duality. You can call it God. You can call it the universal consciousness. You can call it oneness. Are born two opposite yet complementary forces, which are yin and yang. Okay, so day and night, male and female, hard and soft. And another thing I want to reiterate this, okay, you can say, let's see, sun and moon. And I don't want to use the terms good and bad or negative and positive because I've seen that Like they put positive is yang and negative is yin, or good is yang and negative is bad. No, no, no. Okay, do not misinterpret one being better than the other, because you cannot know day without night. Uh, you can't know what hard without knowing soft. You can't know. Well, I could say you can't know females without knowing the males, but anyways, it's male and female. Those are the two opposite forces. But again, in order to understand each side, you have to know the other side. Okay, or one is like another way of putting it is one is the shadow side of ourselves. Okay, so from these two opposite yet complementary forces, are born what we call the five elements, which is wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And then from the five elements, they say are born the 10,000 myriad of things. So all consciousness is a part of the whole. What is luck? So the ancient scholars discovered that luck was not random, that luck can be created. And that they understood this from the uh, the not only the Tao but the cosmic Trinity. Hold on, I'll come back to this one. So they understood this from the cosmic Trinity of heaven's luck, earth's luck, and man's luck. And so, what is heaven's luck? Heaven's luck is our body chart. That's our cosmic DNA. That is the chi that we were imbued with our first breath. So this is the things that we cannot change. You can't change your birthplace. You can't change the time of birth. You can't change the family that you were born with. So these are the opportunities and challenges that you that we are all given in this lifetime. And believe me, you did choose this. And then we have what we call our luck pillars, and that's how time affects us. And not just our luck pillars, by the way, it is also the yearly energies and the monthly energies, which is why I try and give these talks, because as the energies change, okay, it affects each one of us in a different way, depending upon our heaven's luck. And then man's luck, this is something we can control. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go to Earth's luck first. Earth's luck, this is where do we live? Right? So yes, where we live affects our emotions. It affects our thoughts. This is out now being scientifically proven. In fact, in Dr. Bruce Lipton's talk, one of the things he was talking about is the importance of the mind and the environment. And he said, and he mentioned the word feng shui. I was like, yes, of course. I'm like, putting my hands up and all excited because how our environment influences us. Okay, it influences our thoughts, it influences our feelings and our emotions. So this is Earth luck. Where do you live? Okay, where do you live in the landed property? The landed means it's a property that is like a house. I'd never heard that term until recently this past year. It's a term that they use often in Asia. Or do you live in an apartment, say high up on the 33rd floor in a apartment building in New York City? Or do you live in a very hot, humid climate? Again, it's not so much. It's not the how I say. It's not the weather. Of course, yes, weather does influence us absolutely, but it's the chi of the home you are living in. And then man's luck. So you have heaven's luck, earth's luck, and man's luck, and that is what we can control. That is what they call timing, and you can use, of course, your birth, your body chart combined with your actions. So this is our actions. This is Uh, Yvonne, you there? Okay, I guess she got kicked out. I think she's back. Okay. So man's life is our actions, and this is what we can control on a daily basis. You know how many decisions do we make a day? Hundreds of decisions. No decision is a small decision. When I realized that, like, whoa, like, it made me really stop and think, like, okay, if I go that way, or if I make that decision, that's going to change the course, not only of the day, it could change the course of my month, or it could change the course of my year, or my life. So, no, no decision is a small decision. So, when we align our heaven's luck, earth's luck, and man's luck, is when the magic happens. All energy is connected. We are all connected to each other, biologically to the earth, chemically to the rest of the universe, atomically. Okay, so there is an awakening happening right now. More and more people are becoming more and more conscious to everything is energy. Energy consciousness is energy, and how we are all connected. This is also about raising our vibration more than ever because of what is happening in our world. I mean, and forgive me if this is probably what I call seven killing statement. Well, they're poisoning our air, they're poisoning our water, they're poisoning our food, and the more that we can take our power back and talk about man's luck and the decisions that we make on a daily basis, that we can step into our power and we can create a new world, and we need that more than ever. So everything is energy. Time, space, and form are all energy. So you can learn to work with the energies and take conscious action to align yourself with it. As I said, align yourself with heaven's luck, earth's luck, and man's luck, and that is where the magic happens. Go back to the slide too. So until Carl Jung said this, and I like this quote: "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate." Because oftentimes, when you look at a Bosy chart, well, is this my fate, or how do I take that fate? Those challenges that I've been given, those challenging that I'm facing, and create a better destiny. Okay, so it's becoming conscious where you can change your fate into destiny. Okay, so this is the metal season, and then we're going to be looking at each one's day master. So this is the chart of the year of the wood dragon. So we are here, right here. Let me turn on my pen here. Okay. So here. So this is where we are right now. We are in the water monkey month. But I'm giving you an overview of the metal season. Okay, to be to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Is that the right way to say that? Okay, so this is we just entered the monkey month. Now, the first month of any season is what we call the the growing chi of that element. So it is now the growing chi of metal. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what that all means. Okay, so that's right here. So this is where the chi is now growing. Okay, now the rooster month, that is called the prospering chi. This is also what we call peach blossom animals. This is also pure chi of that particular element. So the rooster is pure chi of yin metal. Monkey's main chi is yang metal. And then the dog is what we call, so then the third month of the season is called the graveyard. So this is also this is where the chi of the metals starts to decline, and it's basically a transition from the one season to the next. It is also it also holds a different type of chi as well, like the dragon is holding the wealth in its belly this year because it's one of the graveyard animals. But the monkey, the rooster, and the dog, they combine, they make comprise the season of metal. Now, if you go back here and you say, oh, wait, but there was metal horse and there's metal goat. Yes, however, the heavenly stems, okay, so this is like what we call the heavenly stems, okay, this chi is much weaker than the branch chi, okay? So even though it was a metal horse and a metal goat month, it was still the season of fire. So just like here, where the we have the we have now on top we have what kind of monkey do we have? Because there's 5 different types of each animal, and when you take the 5 elements, the 12 animals, you multiply that, you get 60 possible different combinations, which is called the 60 jazi. Okay, so they're the 60 pillars. So like it was last year, it was the metal monkey month, and now it's the water monkey month. Okay, so we have not only the young metal inside the monkey, but we also have the influence of young water. So we have young water in the heavenly stem and young metal in the earthly branch, which I will talk about in a minute. Okay? All right, so that's. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out or just let me know if I don't see it in the chat. Okay, so here we are again. This is the so this is where we are, right here. Okay, Ren Shen, that is the Chinese name for young metal monkey. Okay, so the young water, not young metal, young water. Ren is the Chinese name, and the English name is young water monkey. So, what are the predominant energies of this month? What are the predominant energies? So it is water, and it is so metal and water. Okay, are the predominant energies that we're going to be seeing. So, navigating the upcoming season of metal. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Now, why did I put the picture like this? So this is the dragon year, and then you see the dragon is submerged in the water underneath the ocean. So young water or red is the ocean, and young metal, okay. So that is a clump of metal, which needs to be forged, by the way. And now, when you put this pillar together, what do you find? You find that these hidden treasures are now deep inside the ocean. Okay, so some of the themes this is why so another way of actually one of the highest forms of Bazi is actually pictorial. And they used to, in one of my classes, in one of my masters, they used to have us actually, we had to look at the chart, the 4 pillars of that year, and we had to draw pictures. Okay? So we had to draw a picture depicting what the particular pillar or the year's chi represented. So let's look at the themes for this metal season. Okay, first of all, what does metal stand for? Okay, what metal stands for altruism. It stands for truth. So a person who has a lot of metal in the chart. They don't have to be a metal day master, by the way. Uh, let's say they're different. Let's say they're a fire day master or they're a wood day master, but they have a lot of metal. They will still exhibit some of the aspects and energies of the metal element. So altruism, truth. You're going to see people even more and more truth is coming out, which is also it is a that is one of the themes of period 9 because fire is volatile, fire is fast, fire is upward, fire is outward. So more and more truth about the world, about who governs the world, what's going on in the world is starting to come up more and more. But the people who have a lot of metal in their bodies of chart, they will naturally be inclined to want to seek out the truth. Justice also is another very, very important theme for metal, like seeking justice. Uh, there was a when I first started food and healing and traditional Chinese medicine. Gosh, when I was 21 years old, which is a long time ago, um, one of the teachers said, "Well, justice, how do you put it? Justice always there is justice in the world. Maybe it won't happen when you want to see it happen. However, there is like a balance. There is justice that will come. Again, not maybe sometimes not right away when we want to see it happen." Another thing metal stands for is authority. It also stands for discipline. So a person who doesn't actually have a lot of metal in their chart, or actually has no metal element in their chart, may lack discipline. Okay, so if metal is one of the weakest elements, you can tell, whether it's your client or a friend or your family member, to try and get them to be more disciplined with their daily schedules. Another one, there's a couple of other things with metal. One of the themes is also the need to be right. So if a person has a high metal and their day master is yang metal, okay, and then they have a lot of earth and metal in the chart. Okay, that's the predominant chi that you're looking at. Okay, it's like they always think they are right. People will die to be right. They will die to be right. And unfortunately, it's because of a higher state of consciousness is when we are having conversations with one another. We are sharing our ideas. We are sharing our beliefs. And, to be okay with not agreeing with the other person and the other person being okay not agreeing with you, but to be able to have, to go to a higher place of understanding. That to me is really, that's the higher level of metal, not the lower level, or not where like I'm right or I'll kill you. And believe me, there are people that in a positive chart when they have so much earth and metal and very little of the other elements that they can, that they can come across like that. Okay, so what else do we have? Some other themes you're going to be seeing again for this season. Okay, and by the way, it's not just the reason that I wanted to do this important class right now, okay? Because we're at a halfway point again of the wood dragon year. So now the energies, we're going from the yang qi into the yin qi. That's number one. We are transitioning from the wood and the fire to the metal and the water, and because this is also is another, how do I say, another turning point. Like you've had a couple of them throughout the year, where you again to step into your power to make changes. Especially this is such an important year. This is the first year of period 9. To align yourself with what is coming, Because if your goals are not in line with the energy showing up, it might take longer to see the manifestation of what you want to create. Because it's a very buzzword out there now, manifesting this and manifesting that. And so again, it's about being in alignment with your energies. It's when we are not in alignment is when suffering occurs, actually. So, um, with because of the monkey, so the monkey, it's the season of meadow, but we have a young water monkey. Okay, so we have it's a lot of water. Okay, so we not only we have the season of metal, the chi of the metal influence, but again, we also have very strong influence of water, and we're even going to have more influence of the water chi when we go into the November, December, January, which is the pig, the rat, and the ox months. Okay, so with yang water in the heavenly stems of the monkey, another theme that will be in the forefront this month is our thoughts, emotions, and finding wisdom amidst the chaos of our present world. Because another thing in general, when you look at the five elements, water is emotions, water is wisdom, water is courage, water is also our thoughts, and we're putting into general categories of the five elements. So the metal is submerged in the depths of the ocean where our thoughts and our feelings remain hidden, like in our subconscious. That's another thing. Dr. Bruce Lipton, he said that 95% of our day is spent on our subconscious, and only 5% of our thoughts are conscious. I'm like, wow. So taken as a metaphor for ourselves, yang water can represent our own emotional depths and the subconscious mind. The vestiges of our own past that we would rather let sink to the ocean floor, like the Titanic, than to grapple with them. So this pillar of the Yang Water Monkey Month poses the question, can we look deeply into our own past to heal and learn from it? Or would we prefer to skim across the surface of the water, ignoring what lies beneath? Another theme, because period 9, and you're going to see, I put this picture up because you're going to see a lot more mental illness come up because period 9 is associated with the fire element, water is associated with our emotions, how do I say, our emotions, our feelings, mental issues. So there's this conflict between water and fire. Okay, but because we have so much water with the metal. Okay, another theme, okay, that you're going to be seeing for this season of metal. So this is not just about the monkey month. This is the monkey, the rooster, the dog. Okay, but again, each month, by the way, is again because of the chi, of the animal. And inside the animal is the element. Okay, remember, that's another thing I want to reiterate is not the animal's personality, it is the elements inside the animal that the animal represents. Okay? So like this is a wood dragon here. So yang wood in the heavenly stems, right? It's not the dragon. Yes, the dragon is mythical, magical, and unpredictable. Okay, we can say that. But what's the chi, the main chi of dragon? It's earth. It is yang earth. So if there's like two dragons in the chart, or there could be a dragon in your cosmic DNA and your four pillars, and then there's a dragon, say a dragon luck cycle, then there's more earth, yang earth specifically. So the dragon has yang earth, and then the sub chi is yin wood and in water. So again, it's the overall chi for the metal season that we're going to be seeing, but then we have the rooster month and the dog month. So sadness and melancholy, because metal is associated with the lung, the large intestine, and the skin, in traditional Chinese medicine. Okay? It is associated with also the ability to let go. So the positive emotion is the person's mental chi. If metal is a useful god and it's a balanced god, a balanced influence in the chart, that person will have the ability to let go, and they won't hold on to all those thoughts and those feelings and the past. If they can't let go, there's a tendency to have more sadness and so melancholy. Melancholy is like, okay, well, what is really the difference between sadness and melancholy? Melancholy is like, like a person can't smile. They go throughout the day. It's kind of like a heaviness. There's not joy. Sadness, I think, is also it's more deep. It's like a person can cry easily. Like, can you cry easily at a sad movie, so to speak? You might have an imbalance with the mental element. Okay, and then another theme is grief. Okay, well, grief, or again, the inability to let go. So the positive side of metal, when the metal is balanced in a person's chart, is to let go, right? But then when there is an imbalance, it's the inability to let go and more grief. Okay, so more grief. I studied with Jeffrey Ewan. Jeffrey Ewan was like, he's called the acupuncturist for the acupuncturists here in the United States. Years ago, I took a year-long course with him, and he was talking about treating this particular woman who had lost her child in 9/11. And it didn't matter what he did, whether it was acupuncture, it was Chinese herbs, it was, different types of, say, specific points or specific modalities that he had, because she had so much grief, right? It was really hard for her to heal. I can't imagine something more horrific and hard on a mother and a woman than to lose her child. Okay, so certainly there's grief, and that's another thing in Chinese metaphysics, in Chinese medicine, is that everything's connected. The physical affects the emotional affects the mental, affects the spiritual, and they all affect each other. Okay. Another theme that you're going to be seeing is overcoming and dealing with fear. Okay? Why fear? Why fear? Because again, it's a water monkey month. It is a young water. Water is associated with the kidney, the bladder, and the adrenal glands. And so when the kidneys are strong, the person has a strong will, they have courage to step out and go after their dreams and their goals and their aspirations. When the kidneys are weak, the adrenal glands are overworked, high stress, then there is more fear. And now, because it's not just the season of metal, we have, water monkey month and a water rooster month. So we both have young water and yin water. So, and certainly the powers that be are certainly good at putting a lot of fear out there on social media. I mean, all over social media. Just of course, just like now, what people are certainly concerned about the stock market, and is this the downturn that we've been waiting for? Rightfully so. But again, some people whose chi is weaker, when their kidney chi is weaker, their water element is very weak in a Bazi chart, they can have more fear. And I'm not saying that we all don't have fear. Another way to conquer your fear is to feel the fear and to do it anyways. And oftentimes when we step through the fear and take the courage to step into what we're afraid of, it actually is never as, how do I say, overwhelming or fearful as we thought it to be. So, again, that's another theme that you're going to be seeing for this month, or for this season, I should say. Okay. So now, I think you all have your